Court is calling 2023 CR 5468, State of Texas versus Johnny Joe Aguirre. Can I have the parties announced for the record for the state?
Hank Wilkins for the state.
Defense?
Renee Munoz on behalf of Johnny Aguirre.
Are you Mr. Aguirre?
Yes.
Mr. Aguirre, I'm showing you what's entitled Court Admonishments and Defendants Waivers and Affidavit of Admonition. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you're charged with the offense of possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1, 4 grams to 200 grams? That's a second-degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes,
Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty and sentence you up to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
He has.
Showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea, there's a $500 fine to be probated. State recommends deferred adjudication. They're taking in consideration 703-653, 716-121, and there's $57 restitution to SAPD for drug testing. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
State?
Yes,
Next,
Your
I'm showing you outside the plea bargain agreement. State is requesting that your community supervision be for a term of 5 years. There be a TAP evaluation, 200 hours community service restitution, no contact with Walmart. There's a referral to felony drug court when there's room, DDRF, regular UAs, and sober support meetings. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, ma'am.
Then to the offenses charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Fine.
State any evidence?
Your Honor, I offer State's Exhibit 1 in the attachments.
No objection.
Court will accept into evidence States Exhibits 1 and attachments. Court has reviewed the same. The court will find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty. Court will defer finding of guilt as you've applied for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
If we may, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Yes, Judge. I mean, at this time, he is currently homeless. I know the state was in agreement with probating the $500. We would ask, if possible, minimum monthly supervision fees. He's still trying to get back up on his feet. He's not currently residing at a shelter, but he's looking into Haven for Hope. And he's also working to get coordinated with the Center for Healthcare Services. We were looking at a potential mental health court referral, but it seems that the Center for Healthcare Services referral is still good. So he's going to be working on that as well, Judge, and hopefully get evaluated, set up with medication, as well as case management.
All right. You believe he's competent?
I do, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Aguirre, when's the last time you had employment?
I was self-employed.
Doing
Up
what?
to November. I did pest control, lawn service, handyman work, and tree trimming.
Okay. How far did you go in school?
I did some college.
Okay. Why did you stop?
I don't know what I was going to. That was maybe like 18 years ago. I'm not sure.
All right. How did you end up where you are now?
I'm sorry.
How did you end up where you are now? Like, why did you start using drugs?
My brother got killed
Okay. And when did that happen?
a year ago.
Okay. So do you have any family support?
My father,
Do you have any children?
3,
What are their ages?
15, 13, and I'm not sure about the youngest one.
All right. When's the last time you saw them?
I would say about 4 years ago, but I've never seen the smallest one.
When's the last time you used?
Nothing, about like 3 days ago.
All right. And are you using meth?
Yes,
How often?
almost every day.
All right. Mr. Aguirre. Honestly, it appears to the court that you need inpatient treatment. Do you agree with that?
No,
But I mean, you're using every day.
I know.
That's a problem because let me just tell you, depending on where you are in your sobriety, nobody wants inpatient treatment,
Right.
depending on where you are, because they're saying, I'm going to be inpatient. I want to still live my life. But if you continue on the path that you're continuing on, you may not live much longer because you may end up getting bad drugs and overdosing, or something else may end up happening to you. Okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to schedule you for a TAP evaluation, and it'll just be a TAP probation. And that's going to take place while you're in custody. And how long should the TAP evaluation take, probation? All right, so they're going to do a TAP evaluation on you in custody. I'm going to have them hold you in custody, and we're going to bring you back in 2 weeks. And in 2 weeks' time, I'm going to let you know if it's going to be an inpatient treatment. And I know you're probably feeling bad and how dare the judge do this, but actually I'm trying to save you, okay? All right, and I'm really trying to do this to help you because I don't want to wake up tomorrow morning and there's somebody on the side of the road dead and they tell me it's Mr. Aguirre, and I could have done this to help you, okay?
Can I say one more thing?
Sure.
Like I feel like I was stuck here because my brother, and I still want to be around, but I want a chance to prove it myself.
Okay.
And is there anything I can do to prove it, to prove the 2 weeks to show you it? I can
No,
stop.
because
I can-
here's the thing.
I'm sorry.
No. But Mr. Gary, if you were tested today, it's going to be positive.
Yes, ma'am.
And you knew you were coming to court today.
Yes, ma'am.
And knowing that you were coming to court today, if you could stop it and do it yourself, you would have said, you know what? I need to be clean for court, because you've been in court before. You know that usually I test people whether or not they are positive for drugs or not. But what I can tell you, if you're using meth every day, you need inpatient treatment. I mean, it's not a bad thing. And I guarantee you, if you end up with inpatient treatment and you work the program, you're going to look completely different, probably in 2 months' time than how you look now. Okay. Now, you said you lost your brother, and I'm sorry for that. But if you don't want to do it for yourself, do it for your brother, because I know your brother loved you, right? And your brother probably wants the best for you. And right now, you're using drugs is not the best for you. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So we're going to see you on September 26th. All right. All right. Thank you. All right. The court is calling 2023 CR 5468, State of Texas versus Johnny Aguirre. And this is Criminal Trial Division. Shall parties announced for the record for the state?
Daniel Escobar for the state of Texas.
Rene Munoz on behalf of Mr. Aguirre.
And are you Johnny Aguirre?
Yes, ma'am.
You entered a plea on September 12th. You applied for deferred adjudication. And according to the plea bargain agreement, the state is recommending deferred adjudication. We are here because a TAP evaluation was requested. Have both parties had a chance to review the TAP evaluation?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor.
Does anyone wish to speak to the TAP evaluation?
Yes, Your Honor, if I may briefly. I did speak with probation about the recommendations in the TAP. I know that DDRF is listed there for inpatient. I also know that it's approximately 6 to 13 week wait. My client has admitted to the court openly and honestly that he has issues with the methamphetamine use, Judge. So we would like a request in lieu of DDRF if we can possibly consider for lifetime recovery. It is an inpatient facility where he would get drug help as well. It would be likely less of a time frame of him waiting in the jail. And we also had since the court had sent a referral for drug court. We did get a response back that he does qualify. However, unfortunately, this time there is a wait list. So I did speak with the case manager, Paul Manriquez, and he said that he would notify me and the probation officer when some space was available, because they're going to have graduation coming up soon. Judge
All right,
Blaney.
babes. When did you speak with them? Because they recently had graduation.
I sent an email out last week, and they stated that he did qualify, but they presumptively rejected him because he had not been ordered to probation formally yet.
So there were two issues, Your Honor, if you may. He was not granted probation yet, so he could not be put on the wait list. And they have not received all of the funding and everything that they need. So there is no available spots right now, even though we just had graduation, is what they've told.
All right, so will lifetime recovery be a good fit for him?
Yes.
All right, is there anything else from either side?
Nothing from the state, Judge.
Nothing further from the bench.
All right, so Mr. Aguirre, I'm gonna follow your agreement and place you in lifetime recovery. But you're gonna have to make sure that you stay on your medications.
Yes, sir.
And if there's an issue with your medication where it has a side effect of something of that nature, then you need to let your doctor know, and maybe they can give you something that doesn't have the negative side effects. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so this is what the court will do. The court will sentence you to 5 years deferred adjudication. There's a $500 fine that will be probated. I'm going to order lifetime recovery and probation. If you could let felony drug court know that he's starting with lifetime recovery, maybe they can eventually find a place for him. Felony drug court is a great program because they will help you with any mental health issues as well as any drug issues. That's why I'm pushing for it. You understand? 200 hours of community service restitution, regular reporting. That's by Zoom or in person. And I know lifetime recovery does UAs.
Yes.
So probation, if you want to accept lifetime recovery's UAs, you can. But I'm going to order random monthly UAs, proof of employment or SSI within 60 days of release. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. And then upon release from lifetime recovery, field visits 1 time per month for 3 months. And then as probation sees fits. And he's to be transferred from the Bexar County Jail by lifetime recovery. If at any time you feel as though probation is not communicating with you or there are some issues with lifetime, you can always let the court know. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you.
You're
Thank you.
welcome.
Maybe excused?
Yes. In 2023 CR 5468, State of Texas versus Johnny Joe Aguirre. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Jason Garahan, Your Honor.
Defense?
Megan Enriquez for Johnny Joe Aguirre.
And are you Johnny Joe Aguirre?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you review the document entitled Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilt and Revoke Community Supervision and state's motion to supplement pending motion to enter adjudication of guilt and revoke probation with your attorney? And did you understand it?
Yes, I do.
Are you the same Johnny Joe Aguirre who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2023 CR 5468 for the offense of possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1, 4 grams to 200 grams on October 20th, 2023 for a period of 5 years? Is that you?
Yes.
All right, state.
Yes, Your Honor. Violated condition number 4, in Bexar County, Texas, the defendant Johnny Joe Aguirre did then and there fail to report to the supervision officer as directed for the months of April and May 2024 in violation of condition number 4.
How do you plead to that? True or not true? State.
I'm sorry, is that a true?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Your Honor, we'll waive the remaining violated conditions.
Any objection?
No, no objections to the other allegations being waived, Your Honor.
All right, did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 4, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, sentence you up to 20 years in prison and up to $10,000 fine?
Yes, I do.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 4?
Yes, I do.
Court will find violation of condition number 4 true. Is there a proposed agreement?
No, there's not, Your Honor.
All right, state, what are you requesting?
State's requesting adjudication of guilt and revoke the individual office probation, Your Honor.
All right, and what are you requesting?
Your Honor, I would like to call my client as a witness, but we are requesting that he be continued and that we talk about what that looks like and what might be appropriate and explain to the court the things that he is struggling with, why, and maybe together come up with a plan for his success and to get him back on the right track.
All right, can you raise your right hand?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
All right, you can lower your hand if you'll state your name for the record.
Johnny Aguirre?
All right, defense.
Johnny, are you nervous?
Yes.
Okay, you know, the judge has a big decision to make here, right? Okay, speak up so she
Yes,
can
ma'am.
hear you. Okay. Tell the judge, where did you grow up? You didn't grow up in San Antonio, where'd you grow up?
For 20 years, I lived in Eagle Pass, Texas.
Okay, did you graduate from high school?
Yes,
And after high school, what did you do?
I went to Job Corps and got 2 certificates.
Okay, and then after that, after your certificates, were you in the military?
Yes, I joined the Army after that.
And what, okay, you were in the army, and what was your job in the army?
I was a generator mechanic.
Okay. Speak up a little bit, okay. What was your job in the army?
I was a generator mechanic.
Okay. Graduated from high school, went to the army, and then was there a big event that happened in your family with the loss of a family member a few years ago?
Yes, my brother got murdered 2 years ago.
Okay, and so your brother was murdered, and actually the people who are alleged to have murdered your brother, their cases are still pending, right? For the
Yes.
murder charges for murdering your brother?
That's correct.
Okay, and were you close with your brother?
Very.
Okay, and then at this point in your life, you started using illegal substances and drugs, is that correct?
Yes.
And is that as a coping mechanism or why? Have you ever been to prison before?
No,
Had you ever been arrested before that?
not here in San Antonio, no.
Okay, had you ever been arrested for any sort of felony before your brother's murder?
No.
Okay, so no serious offenses, and then your brother's murdered, you fall into a severe depression, is that fair to say?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And you're admitting to the court, you were struggling with substances, correct?
Yes.
Methamphetamine?
Yes.
Okay, but then later, you obviously pick up this case, and then when you start probation, you did lifetime recovery, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And maybe that wasn't effective or structured enough because you did relapse, correct?
Correct.
Okay. In addition to your depression, you believe that you may have some other mental health issues that may need to be addressed, such as ADD, and then along with the severe depression of your brother, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And you've never had professional treatment for that, right?
No, I barely got diagnosed with that the last time that I was in custody.
Okay, but you haven't done any sort of treatment?
No,
right?
ma'am.
Okay, is there anything that you want to tell her?
Yes. My father is my best friend in my life. I've never been in trouble with him, and he's 70 years old. So I know this is, critical time to be with him. And I believe he needs my help because he owns apartments, and he has my sister doing the lawn service and all that, because he just had leg surgery and he's getting too old. And I would like to be there with him to help him.
So if you're continued on probation and if you are allowed to transfer your probation to Eagle Pass, your hometown, you would be working with your dad as he's a landlord and all that kind of
Yes.
stuff, and helping do landscaping, as well as maybe also working in
Yeah.
restaurants and things
Yes.
like that. Okay, nothing further. Any questions?
Yes, actually, your brother, his murder, was it here in Bear County, San Antonio, Texas?
Yes, it was.
Were y'all living together at the time?
He would stay with me on and off. He was homeless. I had an apartment, and then I lost it 3 months after that and became homeless. So,
So what was the motive of why these individuals killed your brother, do you know?
they say he was just at the wrong place at the wrong time, but there's allegations that he could have been set up
Set
because
up.
he was living that lifestyle
What lifestyle?
of drugs and then in the streets.
Drugs in the streets? Okay. And I think defense counsel stated earlier, you would be willing to go to an inpatient if the judge ordered it, is that correct? Okay. No further questions, Your Honor.
Oh, first things first, you were in the military. When did you discharge from the military?
October of 06,
And why did you discharge?
I tested positive for marijuana.
And was it an honorable discharge or dishonorable?
It was a general under honorable conditions.
What I can tell you, in the court summary, probation is recommending revocation. Sometimes I go along with what the recommendation is, sometimes I don't, but I have more questions for you. So Their concerns about you are this. They say the probationer last reported on March 7th, 2024. Why didn't you report after that?
I was out on the streets trying to figure out what happened to my brother. I knew I was living the lifestyle, so I was on the drugs. I knew I was gonna fail again.
All right. And then they say you failed to attend, they gave you a chance, and then they said you failed to attend your office visit on April 10th, 2024. Why?
The same reason I was out trying to figure out what happened while I was on drugs.
And then they called your stepmother. No one answered. They left a voicemail. Then they called your father. No one answered, and they left a voicemail. And then they went to do a field visit, and it was a bad address. And then they didn't stop there. They then scheduled another appointment for you for June 28, 2024, and you still didn't report. So, I mean,
If I may,
Yes. Yes, please.
During all this time, I was homeless and I didn't, like, when they would call me, I didn't have the phone all the time. I mean, it would get stolen within a couple of weeks of having a phone. So I didn't have ways of contact. So if it was just messages that they left, I didn't receive, not that many.
well, they call your father, they call your stepmom.
Right.
So, I mean, you haven't done anything. I don't know why it should continue you. I mean, what's the reason why he should be continued?
Your Honor, the hope would be that living not here in San Antonio and moving to Eagle Pass and being with his father and his stepmother would make things differently, because if he's there and if they, I hope they would never not be able to get a hold of him, but then they would be there with him to give him the message. They were in another city. They were not in contact at the time, but now if the hope would be that things would be different because he would be in a different environment by supportive people, not other people who are using drugs and are homeless and stealing cell phones and things like that. People who is, you know, a retired mail carrier and I don't know anything about his stepmom. Does she still work?
Yes.
Okay. So the hope would be that his environment would be different. Therefore, his actions would be different. And also that he might have stricter conditions from the court and conditions that better address the issues. For instance, the mental health aspect of what he's struggling with was not being addressed in the time he was on probation. So my hope would be that if he is getting mental health treatment and getting stricter drug treatment, that the outcome would be different. He also now has a better appreciation of the risk of going to prison. He's never been to prison before. And I think for the first time, this is flashing before his eyes that this is a very real possibility. And he knew by playing true that that was an option that the court had.
All right, anything else from either side?
Nothing from the state, Your Honor.
Nothing further from the defense.
Right, this is what the court is going to do. The court is going to grant the motion, find you guilty. The court will sentence you to 6 years in the prison, give you credit for any time served. The court is going to request the therapeutic community and the court will retain jurisdiction. So if what he has reported is true, that he has no felony convictions, you can explain to him what that means, that the court is retaining jurisdiction. Did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it?
Yes.
All right, you do have a limited right to appeal. That right to appeal is as it relates to the allegations in the motion, not the fact that you are in deferred adjudication. All right, so that we can go off the record. The therapeutic community doesn't increase the time that you're in custody. It's just a program that can hopefully help you get on track with your sobriety, get on track with your mental health issues. Once you're released from custody, if you're not able to find a place to live, if you're not able to find someone to help you with your mental health or drug issues, if I'm still here, you can come back to the court and I will pick up the phone and call someone to help you. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right, thank you.